All right guys, welcome back to the channel. So today, this is a video that I have been wanting to make, I've been wishing to make for quite some time. Ultraview has finally done it. They dropped a thumb button release to the market, and I honestly couldn't be any happier and more excited to get one. So Ultraview now is on their third release. They released the Hinge one a few years ago, the Hinge 2 I believe a year ago, and now they are on the UV button. So let's take a look at this thing. This is the button release from Ultraview and comes in a great box. You guys know I like packaging. It really sets the tone for what's inside. So if you get good packaging, chances are it's gonna be good equipment on the inside, especially for the price tag that you're paying for this. So let's go over that. The price tag, this here is the stainless steel version. This is the heavier of the two options, and the price tag on this is a steep $350. The aluminum version is $300, and honestly, I think that puts him as probably the two most expensive thumb buttons on the market. Not cheap by any means. This is definitely an investment. I think it's worth it. I think it's worth it, especially if you're someone who shoots the Hinge 2 and you really like this platform. To be able to have parity between your Hinge release and your thumb button release, for me, this is the main driver why I wanted this so bad. Because this is my favorite go-to release. When I go outside and shoot, this is the one that I reach for. This is the one that I want to shoot. If you were to hold them up side by side, the hooks are in the exact same position. The clasps open the same way. They feel the same in my hand. And as far as I've been able to tell for the week that I've been shooting this and the couple hundred arrows that I have thrown down range, I have not had a point of impact shift whether I shoot the Hinge or the button. They all kind of fall to within the group. I could shoot 2 arrows of each and they all kind of hit the same. All right, here we are outside. We're getting ready to put the first few shots through this Ultraview button. Let's fire away at it. UV button, lock it in. Felt pretty good. This thumb barrel is actually not that bad. Being as big as it is, it's got some bite, which is nice. So let's go over some of the features and the pros and cons that I have come across while I've shot this release, like I said, for the last week, and probably put a couple hundred arrows through it. So we'll start fit and finish, just like any other Ultraview product. Every time I've grabbed an Ultraview product, whether it's the UV3 scope, the Hinge 2, and now the button, it just feels good in my hand. It just feels good to manipulate it, to hold it. The finish on this has kind of a flat finish. I believe this Hinge 2 had the same finish to it when I got it, but working it in and out of my pocket so much, shooting it, the finish has kind of glossed a little bit, but it still has a really good texture to it. So it's not that super polished aluminum feel. It feels like there's a little grit to it, but it's not like sandpaper grit. I don't know, it's hard to explain. It's just the coating that they use. I like it. I like the ergonomic feel of this. This release just fits my hand really well. It feels comfortable to hold. It feels comfortable to shoot. And just like releases and just like bows, shoot what feels most comfortable for you. This might not be the most comfortable release for you, but for me it is. So you're just gonna have to shoot it to figure it out, or at least hold one to see if you like it. And if you don't wanna drop a couple $100s to feel it, Ultraview has these little plastic pieces that you can get off their website. I think they're free. I think all you have to do is pay for shipping. But if you buy anything on their website, every time I've bought a box from them, one of these has always showed up. So I got a couple of them just kicking around. And I believe Lancaster has these on their website too as like a cart add-on. So if you're already buying something, you can just throw it in there, see if it's comfortable, see if you like the way it feels in your hand. And it's a much cheaper investment than an entire release. So when it comes to the actual mechanism and the firing mechanisms inside of this release, Ultraview has their Ultra Glide technology. Pretty much what it is there's just a lot of bushings in here to keep the release parts from contacting with the housing itself, and to mitigate metal on metal contact on the moving parts except for where they're supposed to be, like on the hook and the sear and all that. It does have a very firm, when you press it, you can audibly hear it click in and it sounds like it's in. And then when you fire the release, it's just got a nice little pop to it. Feels crisp, brakes clean, hook moves freely. I can't tell if it's any quieter, but it feels good. It definitely feels good. Super simple to work. Thumb buttons aren't particularly overcomplicated to begin with, and this one isn't either. So let's move on to the head of this release and talk about some of the internals that I do like that are incorporated into this head. And the first foremost is the D-loop retainer, the string retainer. So when I get into the tree stand, what I want to do is I want to be able to hook my release onto my D-loop and leave it there. I just want it to be ready to go, so all I have to do is grab my bow off the tree, put my hand in the release, and draw. If I'm gonna go on a stalk, I can hook it on there ahead of time and walk around with it, so again, I'm not fumbling trying to get the release onto the string. It's already on there, and I think that's a really cool addition that they have on this release. I know there's other releases on the market that have it, and for me, buying a thumb button, this is not a must-have piece, but if you can get one with it, I would recommend. There's another piece, much like the Hinge 2, one of the problems I had was it was so loud before when it rattled. They added this magnet back here onto the body of the release, so when the head would come back, it would hold the head in place. So the hook was always in place for the next shot, and they have incorporated that here into this head on the button. And what it does is it keeps the hook and holds it down so you can now cock the release. Of the couple hundred shots that I have put this through, the head has always, or the hook has always been in the right position for me, where all I have to do for the next shot is lock it and throw it on the D-loop. I've not had to kind of fold the head over. Not that it's a big deal. Let's go over the weight of this release. This here is the stainless steel version. This is how it comes with the third finger attachment and the big thumb barrel. I contacted Ultraview and asked them if they were coming out with smaller thumb barrels of the machined variety, and it sounds like they are, but right now it is just offered in this thumb barrel that comes with it, and they have a cube barrel that is kind of contoured that you can purchase as well. But right now, the only options they have are big barrels. It sounds like they're coming out with small ones in the future. Just when they're coming out, not sure yet. So let's get a weight on this because this is a heavier release and I'm sure you guys want to know. It weighs 5.7 ounces. And compared to the Hinge 2 with the aluminum hunting bracket, this weighs 4.5 ounces. So we're about 1.2 ounces in weight difference, which I understand that because there's more parts and pieces in this one. I'm sure if I got the stainless steel hunting bracket, I could make these weigh almost the same. But 1 ounce, 1.2 ounces, not that big of a deal. I do like a heavier release. It's just kind of, I don't know, I prefer it. So when it comes to setting up your releases and adjustments on your releases, this is where I feel Ultraview excels over pretty much any other release manufacturer on the market. On the Hinge 2, they came out and they had laser engraved which one of your moons is the click moon, which one's the fire moon, and which way to go adjustment-wise to make it hotter or colder. I know when I get a release, it comes with a product manual and it comes with instructions, and 9 times out of 10, that stays in the box. I don't look at it. It's a release. There's not much to it. Once you get it adjusted, you're not touching it again. It's hard for me to remember which one is the tension of the thumb barrel screw, which one is the travel screw, and which way to go. Maybe I'm just an idiot. So what they have done for the thumb button here is they have actually labeled which one is the travel and which one is your force or the weight on your thumb barrel itself. Also labeled which way to go to make it stiffer or weaker. When it comes to the adjustment on the thumb barrel, I think Ultraview got it 90% of the way there. I think they are missing one little thing, but it's not that big of a deal. There's quite a bit of adjustment of length and throw that you can add into this thumb barrel. So you can have this thing pretty much wherever you want. You can set it up so it's buried all the way into the back of your hand, or you can run it all the way up in the front on the tip of your thumb. It's kind of up to you. It's a make your own adventure, and I appreciate that. So on the barrel itself, the hole is not centered, so you can loosen this up and get a lot of like throw on the barrel too, so you can change the barrel positioning on this post. And that's where I think they got 90% of the way there. If they had a way to adjust this barrel, like the pitch or the angle of the barrel, I think they would have knocked this out of the park 100%. That is one of the cons that I have on this release, is that your barrel position, you're kind of fixed in the same spot. You don't have that. If you want to offset that barrel a little bit to kind of contour to your thumb, you don't have that option. The design that they have in here and the sharpness or the gripness of the texture here, it's plenty good. So even if your thumb is a little offset, I can still get enough grip on it to where I have this anchored. It's going to bite enough skin to activate the thumb barrel. First initial impressions, I really do like it. It's got a crisp break to it. It doesn't feel like tingy, loud, clangy, or lethargic. It's just got it's got a really nice set, a firm set, and the break on it it feels good. All right, guys, so thank you for watching this video on the Ultraview button release. Like I said, I am super excited to shoot this year. I have an archery tag in Montana that I am amped up to use this on, and I had just purchased a new property here in North Carolina that has got a ton of does we need to thin out. This release is gonna get quite a bit of work this year. If you have any questions on the setup or quirks about these Ultraview releases, I've been shooting them for a little while now, so drop a comment down below. Maybe I can help you out. If you like this video, hit that like button down below and subscribe to the channel. Like I said, we got a lot of hunting trips coming up, and I'd hate for you guys to miss out on any of that. So until next time, I'm Jeff Cordero, and we'll check you out on the next video.